Voyage.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
I've long believed that we've all lived before, in another time, another place, another life. Through this everlasting journey of renewal and discovery, one thing remains constant: our soul. My spiritual mentor, John Lennon, taught me that to understand my present struggles, I needed to discover the ones from my past. And as I embarked on that journey, I expected to be surprised, but not like this.
Many people believe that the life we are living isn't necessarily the only one, that we have many past lives and future lives. What was your opinion on this subject before you met John?
In earlier years, I heard stories of children in India who remembered vividly past lives and would take their families to the locations where certain events had occurred. In India, the culture and dominant religion of Hinduism accounts for past lives, so they own this reality. It's not as unusual in that culture as it is here at all. Hearing these stories, I thought of that nightmare I had had when I was 5, where I had awakened screaming and crying, that my parents ran into the room to find out what was wrong. I realized later that that's exactly what had happened to me in that nightmare when I was 5. And that was my first glimpse into what for me was obviously real. It was beyond real. So in my 20s, working as a healer and intuitive reader, I started seeing other people's past lives just like I had seen some of mine. And they're dreaming only much, much more real. You get a feeling in your physical body often that this is real. You can't ignore it. And when a person connects with their past life, it can definitely connect with present time life and the situations they find themselves in, and to be able to understand. But there's something really, really important about past lives and knowing about them, because you should never seek a past life unless it comes to you naturally. If you have a situation that needs to be resolved and you realize what's going on. Because if you're not ready to see a past life or know about it, then it's kind of like opening a Pandora's box of sorts, because giving people information before they're ready mentally or emotionally can produce really bad side effects in terms of feeling that life and making your present life feel out of control, or you can be torn between yourself now and then. So the mystery of the unknown can become actually too much or frightening or intimidating. If the subject is just not ready to know things, they can be too vulnerable to know how to handle it. They won't know how to get help if necessary, perhaps. So in general, taking a subject out of present time is not advised, because all of learning is about the natural, methodical process of learning.
Did your thoughts and beliefs on this issue evolve as a result of your time with John?
It didn't so much change my beliefs on the matter, but it opened the subject wider for me. As John explained to me from his perspective, I just was obtaining a deeper understanding.
Last we spoke, you were having trouble juggling your work and family commitments and this project of the book. I recall you had to give up teaching for a while.
Not just teaching. I stopped going to the meadow altogether for a couple of years. I had 2 daughters by my first marriage, and with Ari, a third was on the way. When time allowed, I processed my visits with John and Basil. The cassette recordings I made at the time were enough for me to start writing the book. I always felt John's presence while working on it. I didn't understand at the time, but this immediate connection was the next phase of my apprenticeship, so to speak. I went from thinking about John in the meadow to feeling compelled to return to it.
After a 2-year hiatus, what made you so sure you could meet up with him again?
Well, I certainly didn't know. I didn't know for sure. But I believed that John wanted me to come back. So finally, in February of 1989, I did.
I opened my eyes, expecting to find myself back in the meadow. I expected to see trees and grass and hear the dulcet chirping of sparrows. Instead, I find myself on a gorgeous white sand beach. I search the waterline for John, but no one's there. I scan the dunes, but they're deserted too. That is, until I see a figure poking out over the sandy berm. But I soon realized, to my disappointment, this was not John's lanky silhouette. Whoever this was, he was much shorter than John or Basil. It looked like he was wearing a large white wig, and he was making a beeline right for me. As he got closer, I could see he was wearing a red brocaded frock coat with gold embossing, breeches, and white stockings and big buckled shoes not seen since the 18th century.
Good morning, my dear lady.
Hello?
Are you enjoying this magnificent place? I am astonished how the sounds and smells of the ocean shore can produce such deep responses in a human heart.
Have you been here long?
Oh, no. I was taking a walk in the countryside and then, voila, here I am.
His childlike face sparkles with a bit of madness. Doesn't that scare you?
Oh, no, of course not. This happens to me all of the time.
Where do you come from, if I may ask?
By all means, my dear madam. I am Austrian. We have glorious mountains, which I could never abandon. Yet when I am in this miraculous place, I wonder how I could live without it.
Do you come here often?
Oh, yes, almost always in my dreams. This place inspires me greatly. It is the source of all my joy.
It's funny. I thought I would meet someone else here, and you show up.
Who is this someone?
A friend of mine. His name's John Lennon. Have you heard of him? What's so funny? Do you know him?
My beautiful red-haired madam.
He took my hand in his.
I know him most intimately.
He kissed my hand. The situation's becoming awkward, yet this character has me intrigued. In one way, he appears pure, mystical, and childlike, but with an aura of greatness. But on the other hand, he's a bit of a lech. I've seen guys like this before.
What is my lady smiling about?
I wonder what John might say to you if he were here.
Oh, I presume he is here, my lady, but you can't see him.
Usually I can, though it's been a while since I've come around. Secretly, I am annoyed. I came to speak with John. Instead, I'm stuck with this odd little man. The beach becomes drenched in sunshine. The clouds drift away to reveal a comforting blue sky. My new friend runs like a little kid, disappearing over the nearest sand dune. The colors of our surroundings have altered drastically, and the ocean waves are emitting an overpowering blue-green resplendence. Suddenly I hear... The music seems to be coming from the sky, the water, the ground beneath my feet. I can feel it through my body, building in strength. An indescribable emotion is welling inside me, and I'm becoming lost to it. My feet sink into the sand as I climb the dune. I immediately spot the little fellow in the red jacket, but he's no longer alone. In fact, he stands at a podium before an entire orchestra. His arms move violently, passionately, gracefully, conducting the orchestra as if possessed by the music. It takes me a few moments to realize I am listening to the music of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. and the funny little fellow in the frock coat is the man himself. I approach the orchestra for a closer look and see that one of the male violinists is myself in another expression. I begin to weep. My body convulses in great sobs as I view him transmitting this heavenly sound through body and instrument, giving him an amazing, joyous strength and vitality. The tears puddling in my eyes cause my vision to transform this 18th century violinist into a young woman. She's about 15 years old, dressed in modern clothing, and I see her playing the concerto with her high school orchestra. I see myself in my present life as a teenage violinist playing first chair. Had I been meant to walk the musical path? In a flash, I fathom why my life has unfolded as it has. My path had to be different this time around. What a pity John hasn't been here to see this with me. Suddenly, instead of Mozart, John Lennon is the one at the podium, wearing a red coat, white breeches and stockings. He's playing the guitar and leaning into a microphone to sing. I lie on the sand in a stupor for what seems to be a very long time. I look up to see the orchestra and its players have disappeared. John approaches.
Quite the trip, isn't it?
Why didn't you tell me before? As he sits beside me on the sand, he's now sporting his trademark glasses, long sideburns, and short curly brown hair.
I knew it would be too much for you, in the beginning.
And now?
And now you can handle it. Especially if we talk about it. And you have time to work it through. You know what this means, don't you? You're going to be sticking your neck out even more about this spiritual New Age foolishness.
Do you really think people are going to buy the idea you were Mozart?
It's irrelevant whether they're biased or not. The important thing is what you experienced for yourself, and the truth you and I are sharing here. It's a pity anyone else has to know about it at all. Just between you and me, kid, this time mode expression stuff is mind-blowing if you get into it.
You can say that again. Is it true I played violin in one of your orchestras?
Why do you think it was so easy for you to learn as a child? Why do you think you always played first chair?
It was totally familiar to me, yes. And when I played, I felt an exuberance which seemed to come out of nowhere.
And now you know why.
But hell, John, this is going too far. Mozart? Really?
As Basil and I told you in that lovely meadow, there ain't no famous souls in the infinite dwelling. Once you've left your body, you're joining with the true or false God within yourself, whatever that may be. No one here cares what you were on Earth. They only care whether you're being honest.
So from your perspective, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is just one of the gang. No big deal.
Of course it's a big deal. He produced miraculous music. And that required a special kind of human genius, which millions of people have appreciated. But take a look at the rest of his wretched life. Don't you think he had an enormous load of homework to do once he left his miserable, neglected body and got here? Mozart conveyed a new level of musical genius on Earth, previously known only by angels. But by the time he got here, he was one massive wreck.
What do you mean?
Take a look at his lower life wheels. Because he was such an astonishing medium, he was open to one bloody lot of negative and positive energies. He allowed his earthly base to become unsafe. And that's why he lived in fear, attracted so many problems, and died at a young age in spite of his amazing gifts.
Sounds like someone else I know. I look at him cautiously. I've never seen him so fully annoyed. He gazes into the blue ocean waves, eyes sullen, hands kneading the sand. Then he cracks a smile.
Don't worry, I won't clobber you. I learned me lesson about that, I think.
I had read that John Lennon had been very aggressive at times during his mortal life. I wonder if this part of his character has improved since journeying to the infinite dwelling.
You've got to realize that even Lennon's expression on Earth wasn't half as tumultuous as Mozart's.
Oh, yeah? Well, don't tell me all of your past expressions with somebody famous, or I might start disbelieving all of this.
I know I've been addicted to genius at times, but don't forget the appalling difficulties that go with it. Okay, in the expression after Mozart, and before John, I skipped genius and settled for wisdom, strength, and sincerity. I was a black woman, living in the rural southeastern United States. And this person really got me in touch with the Earth principle. But it's hard to achieve true balance, which is why I almost hated physical labour by the time I ended up as John.
What a change.
I was born in 1901 and died during childbirth at the age of 26. What's more, you and I were friends.
I look at him, astounded. Wait, you're saying that we knew each other in another past expression?
Oh yes, lots more.
My mind is spinning.
We shouldn't go too fast with this discovery business, otherwise we might end up blowing your mind.
You're right. I can't cope with it. My curiosity says yes, but my mind starts to protest. It can't deal with it now.
It will eventually, but it's not good to push things.
I've been busy with the concept of past, what you call alternate expressions, for more than 20 years now. But it's one of the most difficult things to accept. It's easy to assume in an intellectual way, but when it comes to actually feeling and knowing in my body and soul, it's a tremendous jolt.
Western human minds aren't taught to deal with it. They stumble upon the many pieces of this mysterious, multi-dimensional puzzle, lying scattered about in their conscious and unconscious minds, whether they want to or not. They find it shocking, even though they may think they're prepared.
Thank you, John, for sharing this with me.
You seem tired.
My mind is. Frankly, I wouldn't mind immersing myself in a simple task like vacuuming the house.
I always found it too noisy, but whatever floats your boat.
He smiles, fondling the bronze buttons on his jacket. Then in the blink of an eye, a shift of focus, I'm back in my study in the Netherlands.
Okay, hang on. So you're saying that John Lennon told you he's been your spiritual guardian not just during this life, but for many past lifetimes?
Sort of. I want to clarify one thing. He wasn't always my guardian, but there are many lives where we were just together, learning and experiencing, when our lives intersected meaningfully.
That sounds, convenient. To have arguably the greatest singer-songwriter in the history of rock and roll, instead of, the guy who didn't make it to the band, or someone else less luminous, perhaps. I don't know who my spiritual guardian is, but if we're noodling around ideas, I'll take Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes. I can understand your skepticism, and everyone else's. Believe me, you aren't and weren't the only one to express that.
Where did you get your greatest kickback?
Well, it began with my Dutch family in the Netherlands, a Christian family believing that I had lost my mind. They were very embarrassed for me. The hardest part was when I was doing radio and television appearances in the United States and later reviews of my book. There were a lot of people who were skeptical, but there were many, many, many more who were writing to me secretly that they were having similar experiences with John Lennon. It became a wave of discovery. How many people dreamed about John Lennon or had thought that he was around them?
And what about your husband?
Well, despite his reservations about how I was spending my time, he still knew I was onto something. He even picked up on the Mozart connection at the same time as me. It was bizarre. I remember him coming into our office directly out of the shower and saying, "I think John Lennon was Mozart." So that was mind-blowing. that he thought of it at the same time, and this gave me the strength to believe in my experiences in Arcadia, meeting Mozart, who was to turn into John. Ari encouraged me to continue writing about these specific experiences, so I delved even deeper into writing my book.
When people think of the Beatles and John Lennon, they think of the music, of course. They think of John's murder, and they think of Yoko Ono. In our next episode, Linda will share the insights about John's relationship to his controversial wife. Did she really break up the Beatles, or is that a bad rap? John Lennon in Heaven is a production of Voyage Media. The series is produced by Nat Mundel, Robert Mitas, Dan Benamor, and Adam Prince. Written and directed by Adam Prince, based on the novel John Lennon in Heaven by Linda Keene. The novel is available on Amazon. A link is in the show notes. Starring Steve Corona as John and Laura Jane Salvato as Linda. Additional cast credits are available in the show notes. Edited, sound design, and mixed by Andres Coca. Original music by Derlis Gonzalez and Beyond Abbey. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you're listening, and subscribe now for future episodes.